sugar. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me.
This is our diabetes kit. We make sure that we take this around wherever we go. Whether we go to school, soccer practice, no matter where we are, we have to have it with us just in case we need to check Andrew's blood sugar or in case he needs to take some insulin.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
First thing in our diabetes kit is our blood sugar supplies. In there, we have our meter. Next thing that is also blood sugar is our test strips. Also, we have our poker, which gives blood to the meter to tell my blood sugar, and we have alcohol wipes.
And we're actually going to check Andrew's blood sugar now. He's been feeling a little crabby. That's what he said, right? So we're going to do a blood sugar check and show you how it's done. We're going to check him out. So the first thing he's going to do is take out a blood test strip. Or 49 of them.
So then you put it in the blood sugar monitor. Then it turns on.
Okay.
As preparing the test. And apply drop. So next thing you want to do is take out the alcohol wipe. Wipe off the finger that you're going to use. Let it dry.
Going to try not to use the same finger all the time. You want to try to alternate hands, and you want to try to alternate fingers, because you don't want one finger or two to be used most of the time. So he's used the poking device, the lancing device. And he's actually getting a drop of blood onto the little part of the test strip. And it's testing now. And he's got the number 248.
That's not too high.
And that's not too bad. What we would do is, since it's close to dinner, we wouldn't do anything to treat this 248 since he's going to be eating shortly. What we'll probably do is we'll make a correction at dinner time, meaning we'll give the correct amount of insulin needed to cover this amount plus what Andrew is going to have for dinner. Our range for blood sugar is what?
80 milligrams in your blood to 120 milligrams of sugar in your blood.
That's right. And then one of the important things that we try to do is when we have a higher reading, we try not to label our readings as good or bad. It's a very, very hard thing to do because it's easy to look at a number like 500 and say,
that's bad.
But what do we say sometimes instead?
We say that it's good instead of bad. We just pretend.
We pretend, and we give the correction dose because we realize that the only thing predictable about diabetes is that it's unpredictable. So we really try hard to kind of roll with it, even though at times...
Because sometimes when, I know I took my insulin, and then when I'm, 400, I get mad because I'm like, I took the insulin. Why isn't my sugar going down?
You feel like you've done the job and you've done the right thing,
yeah,
but your blood sugar's reacting differently. And we know that when our blood sugar goes up, it could be a result of something we've eaten or hormones or what else? Stress, change in activity, no activity. It could be a huge variety of reasons. So that's why we try not to label it and we try not to get upset about it. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we do label it, as what we consider good or bad.
The next thing that is in my diabetes bag is glucose tablets. They are for when I go low and for fast-acting carbs. After 15 minutes, I check my blood sugar and see if the glucose tabs have kicked in.
And if Andrew's blood sugar ever goes low, this is kind of a way to bring his blood sugar up quickly. So what we'll do is we'll give Andrew 3 or 4 tablets, and then we'll let it get into his system for about 15 minutes.
Then we recheck my blood sugar.
Yep. And then if your blood sugar numbers haven't gone up, then what do we do?
Either take some more or have a juice.
A juice, or what else can we do?
Crackers.
Crackers.
Something with quick carbs.
Yeah, something with sugar and a lot of carbs in it. Would you like to show everybody what a glucose tablet looks like, Andrew?
Yeah.
Would you like to hold it out so they can see? It's kind of fun. Looks like a big sweet tart. Trademark. And do these taste pretty good, Andrew?
They taste really good. Can
Yeah.
I have one?
No, not right now. The flavor on these glucose tabs varies, but this particular flavor is raspberry, and Andrew really likes the flavor of these a lot. But we hope to not have to take them a lot.
Yeah.
We try to maintain Andrew's
Blood
sugar level, right?
Additionally, in my diabetes bag is my insulin called Humalog, which is for short-acting insulin. This is the needle that goes on our insulin pen, and it is very small.
Yeah.
It's not big.
We also carry around our long-acting insulin, which is the insulin that we give at nighttime only. This is called Lantus, and this insulin is intended to be given, and it will actually keep Andrew's blood sugar levels fairly stable throughout the night and throughout a 24-hour period in short doses. So we administer this every night at 9 o'clock before bed. This pen that we carry along with us isn't actually Lantus that we use. It's an emergency Lantus. That's why it's labeled with the orange. And the reason we carry that is because
If we ever are late to get home, we can always just take it. If we're gonna stay somewhere till late, we can just take the Lantus.
Right. So if we're ever in a place where we're not at home, we've got one with us. It also uses the same pen needles that we use for the Humalog. So we always carry quite a few pen needles within our diabetes bag.
If glucose tabs were not to work and I still was going down, I would use the Glucagon emergency kit for low blood sugar. Which is a very, very fast sugar. So here's the sugar, and then here's the pen. So I put that in.
Well, hopefully you'll probably be on the ground at that point when you need this as an emergency. So
Yeah.
whoever's taking care of you will take care of giving you this shot, which should then bring your sugar up quite quickly.
So far we have not had to use this, but for emergencies we would have this.
We carry one with us in our diabetes bag, and we also have a complete set
At school.
of everything you see here at school.
The next thing in our diabetes bag is a genuine Papermate Murado Classic HB2 pencil. And we use this pencil to write down our blood sugars in our weekly log book.
And why do we do that, Andrew?
So doctors know what my blood sugar is if we have to send it to them, or we can use our blood sugar meter, which wirelessly sends the blood sugars to the phone.
And the cool part about that is we keep track with our logs so we can visually see what's happening with Andrew's insulin,
Trends.
what we're giving him in the trends. But the great part is that our meter keeps track of it as well so that we can send our information to the doctor at any time. But we definitely still use both just to keep track of everything. We hope to be getting a continuous glucose monitor called a Dexcom. And what that will enable us to do is that will enable us to track Andrew's blood sugar without having to do as many finger sticks. And it'll track Andrew's blood sugar and send the information to our cell phone. So that'll work out really well because if the doctor needs information, we could send our blood sugar information to the doctor.
The next thing in our diabetes bag is a biohazard bag for my needles and my test strips that were used. The next thing in our diabetes bag is an encouragement card from a special person. This is to help us when we feel down and to help us feel better. The next thing in our diabetes bag is our ketone strips that are for checking our glucose, an alternate, and to check our ketone levels. If we have a lot of ketone levels, that would mean that we would have to drink water or take insulin and see if my ketone level has gone down. Another thing in our diabetes bag is some spare batteries for our blood sugar meter if it were ever to die when we did not know.
How many times has that happened?
That's happened to us about 2 times, but it usually tells us when it's going well.
It gives us a little bit of a message, right?
Yeah.
We've got two kind of things that kind of go together here. You explain that and I'll do this one, okay?
Okay. The next thing in my diabetes bag is a card that says I have diabetes and contact information.
So if someone were to find our bag,
They can call us.
and we can grab that bag as quick as we can, right? The other thing we have in our bag is a note. We like to travel to see Andrew's grandparents in Tennessee. And this is a note that says wherever we travel, that our diabetes supplies need to stay with us and that Andrew is insulin dependent and that these supplies that we need are necessary for his well-being in his life. So we need to make sure that we carry this letter around with us, and we do. We hang on to that.
The last thing in my diabetes kit is a replacement lancing device that is used to check my blood sugar. A cool thing that I have is a medical bracelet that says my name, that I am a type 1 diabetic, and that I'm insulin dependent.
And what do you do with that?
We put it on my wrist, and if I were to ever faint,
So Andrew, why would you want to wear a medical bracelet?
so if I ever faint,
Ugh, I'm not good at
they
this.
can see that I'm a type 1 diabetic.
And how do you think that would help someone? The bracelet keeps falling. How do you think it would help someone to know that you were a type 1 diabetic?
They know that
If they saw your bracelet, what would be,
they know that they had to get something,
like what would they have to get?
glucagon or glucose tabs or something.
That they need to give you something to correct the fact. Very good.
Sugar, sugar, honey, sugar, you are my candy
And the next day, 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 and the day after that.